similar to that.
So that experiment that you just said with the well and the water and the sun, that was actually expounded on and made into a controlled experiment, and that was from Airy. And that experiment, he used a telescope filled with water. When the light would hit the water, it slows down. And so he was able to determine using that
the Earth is the same thing, but
it's the same type of thing, because that is what led to this experiment.
Okay, go ahead.
And it proved, it's called Airy's failure, because it set out to prove your moves. And instead it proved, number one, that the Earth is stationary, and that the ether, the electromagnetic fluid that allows light transmission, the reason we can see each other, it allows that. So he proved both of those things accidentally, while trying to prove motion of the Earth.
So back to the question I'm trying to get you to answer. Do you think that everything else is a sphere and we're an anomaly, or is everything shaped like us?
It cannot possibly be if we are stationary. The models don't mix. So no,
well,
I think
so,
all
so
of that.
you don't think we're rotating, there's not an orbit or anything like that. You're just thinking
NASA's documents for every spacecraft they have, when they put out their bulletin, within the first two paragraphs, normally at the very top, it has a description that says all spacecraft flight is designed for flight over a level stationary plane that is not moving. Think if we were moving 1,000 miles an hour in one direction, and commercial planes are 500, 600, he's never going to catch that runway. And if they're going opposite directions,
no,
he's never
you don't know anything
it.
about rotational speed. Rotational speed is the same as a car going down the road right now on I-25 is 70 miles an hour. The person in the car is also traveling 70 miles an hour.
Correct. But the person in the car can throw the ball up and catch it if he's got a windshield. If that's a convertible with no windshield, can he throw the ball up and catch it? No. So Earth doesn't have a windshield to be rotating. Air fluid dynamics, the law of motion of transfer through a
so you're saying
fluid,
the atmosphere
dictates that
exist.
it exists, but it cannot either be stationary with a rotating middle object, or it cannot rotate with the object, because that would, both models of that show shear layers, and the shear layer, because of the buoyancy of the gas.
Okay, do your experiment with water, because we're running out of time. You haven't proved anything yet.
I'm just.
All right, so prove to us the Earth is flat.
All right. So the Earth is 85% covered in water. Okay. Hydrodynamics. The first law of air fluid dynamics says that all fluids and gases must be physically contained, including pressure, because they will never, under any circumstance, contain themselves. Simple way to do that is with the lid on it. You're going to bust through the container before you make the sides touch. But if we simply remove the lid, now we can do that all day long. The pressure is.
So you say the water doesn't come off the Earth's surface because we're not moving?
Pressure must be contained. So to have a high pressure atmosphere against a low pressure, what happens if the gasket has a leak? Does the cylinder still have pressure? It's not sealed, so it can't. We must seal pressure. Pressure is defined as the stuffing of a gas or fluid into a sealed container.
So your argument is that the
properties
the atmosphere couldn't exist if we're flying through Earth, and therefore the Earth is
no way.
The Earth is staying put.
Have you ever vacuumed? Have you ever lost when you use the vacuum?
Yeah, but also I know a lot about rotational force. And have you ever been on one of those carnival rides where they spin it around and you stick through the wall when the floor drops out from underneath you?
We'd go flying off if that wall wasn't there.
Wouldn't we go flying off if it was flat?
Wouldn't we go flying off if it was spinning?
See, but that's rotational speed.
But we can't prove that. That's just words and opinion. Again, we have science that disproves that.
Because if you're flat, how do you explain seasons other than we're spinning?
Very easily. We are on a electromagnetic plane that is surrounded by a torus field. We're surrounded by electromagnetic energy. Tesla pulled it out of the air. We are batteries. Everything is electric around us. So, this plane that we are on.
Yes?
Yeah, I You gave me that look, and I just kind of
No,
lost
because
it.
it doesn't explain